Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today we have here a 2.4 liter 10 valve JTD engine. This is the 150 horsepower version with a variable geometry turbo. Okay, it is the same engine the block end have as the wastegate turbo with 136 horsepower. This engine over here is seized. Well, it is a little bit strange how it's seized because I already removed the oil sump and the conrods seem not to be seized. So it is very interesting. So the story is that the customer had the car and had it to do a service, and on that service he ordered, in between other things, to do the replacement of the conrod bearings, and 500 kilometers afterwards the engine seized solid. Okay, so my assumption was something went wrong with that, but apparently no, it did not. Okay, and so I already did a total disassembly on the engine similar to this one, the 4-cylinder engine. It is exactly the same as this one, except this one has one more cylinder, but the components, the method of disassembly is the same. Okay, but on this video, contrary to the other one, I'll try to do a, well, the other one was also a teardown to see what did happen on that engine, and we know now what was the cause. On this one we still have here the the accessories belt, so that was not the problem. So on this video I really do not know what is the problem, and let's find out. Okay, and so my initial idea here is to disconnect the bottom part from the top part of the engine to find out where it is really seized, if it is on the top part or on the bottom half. Okay, so removing here the serpentine belt, the accessories, the covers, the timing belt itself, and try to find out if anything is out of the ordinary. Let's go. Don't forget that I have a playlist of videos for timing jobs like belts and chains. I do have a video for this particular not this engine itself, but this type of engine. I have for timing chains for the 1.3, for example. I have for the 1.6, 2 liter, 1.9, 2.4, 2 and 4 valves per cylinder. Okay, so down on the description, playlist for timing belts. Okay. Oh, before that, sometimes what happens is one of the pulleys is seized. On this case, none of it is. If that happens, you may have a problem noticeable on the belt itself at some point, at some point I believe it did, or maybe it is a defect of the belt itself being in, but it is made in China after all. Okay, so on my case, none of that is happening. This is good. Okay, everything is nice. $13mm head. On the 1.9 normally is a 15, and it goes right over here. But you can see that on my videos about that. On these bolts it is a rebay 7, but you can use a 5mm hex wrench. These two over here, I do not remove them because I like to take out with this support over here, this aluminum one. But down here from factory you do have a 5mm head bolt over here. It is the only one. If you are not sure about the bolts, I have down on the description a link for a pair fiatforum.com, and you can check out everything about part numbers. So the belt is not broken, and it is very recent, and it is tight. Rebate 12 over here, and the 17 over here and there. Everything seems fantastic, no marks, no nothing, which is very, very nice. The tension is also correct over here. Nice, very nice. Down here is a rebate 9. These ones are a little bit mangled up. Really mangled up. Or my new wrench is not adequate, but I think it is. Dear God. Maybe. Let's see what's what. I have to put some new bolts and check out here. This does not seem right. This wrench is not right. So let's see up here, what do we have, if this moves or not. Yes, it does. This is very odd. Probably damage on the valve train or something. We have to take out and see. These engines over here, the 2 valve per cylinder ones, do not have hydraulic tappets. It is the mechanical ones, so they usually do not go bad. Actually, I never saw one go bad. And down here, completely seized solid. At this stage, you can take advantage of this to remove the bolt. It is left hand threaded, so to take it out, you have to spin clockwise. These 2.4 ones have a chain over here for the oil pump, so that can be the issue. Yeah. Oop. My engine stand does not have holes on the holder, so maybe I have to put a piece of wood to the ground over there. So we have to go right way. Oh yeah. Make sure to see if the the keys are there. So this one is there. A little bit crunchy, but it is. A little bit dirty, yeah, but it is okay. No cracks, no nothing. Here on the crank itself, everything seems quite normal with this age. The engine was washed for some reason. Okay. Tell you what, guys, let's go straight to where I think the problem is, over here on the oil pump, on the chain. If not, it is not okay, because this engine, it is to be rebuilt. This is a customer's engine, and this is, well, if I will have to take everything apart, the bill will be much higher for parts and labor. And I do not want to mess with the customer's wallet. Okay, so let's go directly to where I believe the problem is. Okay, let's go here to the oil pump. For that, I will remove here the AC compressor, the bracket, the lower bracket for the engine support, the tensioner over here. Just make room here to get to the oil pump. Okay, 213s and 115. Now we have here several 15s, like 4. Next, we want to remove here the oil filter and the oil exchanger. Now a 27, a long one over there. Then you take out the center bolt. Can be a little bit long. Now it's just a matter of zipping out all of the 10mm bolts. Make sure that we have 2 or 3 here on the oil pickup tube. Of course, the timing of the engine is not correct because we were not able to spin the engine in any way. On the oil pickup tube you have here some metal. What is this? This is bearings. These are bearings. What the hell did happen? What? This is not good. All of this was on the pickup tube. So the chain is good. Never saw these chains with problems, but it did overheat. Oh, a lot. Oh my God. So this bearing over here may have overheated and transferred the heat to this part of the... Whoa, this is really hot. So the problem is not with the pump itself. The pump is loose. And over here, if you had a balance shaft, which we normally do, it will go on that hole, driven by this shaft over there. or this cog, that is. So here we have here remnants of a very large problem on the heating of possibly here this area. I think it spun the bearing. Oh, I think it did. So let's take out here. Let's take out here the crankshaft out, and the main caps and the rod caps and everything else before removing the head. I want to make sure what is happening before continuing with the job at hand, and in this way informing the customer at every step, because well, like I said, this is to be rebuilt. If this block does not have any more life to give, because if you overheated the block itself, it is junk. But if that happened, I do already have a block for it, and possibly I have, well, on camera you can see it clearly, but on the naked eye not so much. You can see here a very distinct mark of overheating. Surely on the oil pump you can see that as well, on the burnt plastic. If you need a video for the replacement of this seal, I have it down on the description, okay? And so as the engine does not, or the crankshaft does not rotate, in this case we can reach all of the con rod caps. They all move, so the reason the lack of movement is not because of that. I think it is because of the main caps. So I can reach all of them except that one, almost, but I think I will start by the main caps to try to make the crankshaft move. In that way, trying to do it, okay? The crankshaft is marked over here with several marks, so you have a dot on all of them, which indicates the back side of the engine, the side that faces the driver, and this one is not marked, so it's number 0, number 1, number 2, 3, 4 and 5. 13mm head bolts on the main caps. So the cap is not new, or the bearing, may say. So they just removed the con rod caps, or replaced the con rod caps. It is quite heavily worn. You can see already the bright yellow, and so it is the original one still. I imagine the other ones will be too. Oh, this one is spun. The fourth one spun. The third one spun. This block is already junk. The second one spun and heated. The first one or the second one spun. And the first one spun. So every single one except the last one has spun. So we found the problem. Now this means that the crankshaft is garbage, it is overheated, and it means that my block is also garbage because it is very, very overheated. So for that I do have a remedy. I have a good used block and I have a good used crankshaft. I just have to see about the con rods. I also have that, and pistons probably will go oversized because of the bore and all of that. I prefer to do it that way on these engines. So okay, very good. Well, not very good for the customer, but I finally have the answer. The half caps are numbered well in position and also in the number of cylinders. So do not worry too much about that. Of course they are new, but a little bit pitted. Over there, number 4. Where are you? Can you see it over there? On this bottom side? Okay. Oh. So as you can see, this engine block has oil squirters to the pistons, so the pistons may be good for another application on the other block, but that is for the engine shop to measure and see what we can do. Okay, even if we have good pistons over here, my new used block may not be good enough for STD pistons, so that is not important right now. So the crankshaft itself has a lot of wear, a lot, and is very dark here on these areas where it did seized. Yeah, unfortunately, this crankshaft is only a big, very beautiful paperweight because it is a 5-cylinder after all. It is very, very neat. So possibly it will not go to the dump pile, but somewhere where I can show it off, possibly, because it is a very nice crankshaft. Okay, just for looks right now. Again, on the engine block, as you have these main caps over here completely overheated, the block itself is also overheated, and you could saw that on the oil pump. On the piston, on the con rods, we have to take out the head and check out the con rods if they are still usable or not. But that being said, I have a new set if necessary. These are the new half bearings of the con rods, and notice this one over here with a very strange marking. It seems like corrosion, or what the hell did happen over here? Really cannot tell. And I can see over here some markings. Possibly the con rods are not straight, are not round. I don't know, I have to see. And on the main caps, as you can see, all of the mayhem that did happen over here. This one was the one that locked the engine in the final stage, as you can see over here. This was the one that locked on me actually, and only the first one, the first half, is decent enough to speak about, but everything else is gone, just gone. Okay, so if you want to stick with me with the rest of the video, I will take everything apart, the head, the turbo, the manifolds, everything out, to see what we can do. So at this stage I will remove here the bracket with the high pressure fuel pump. I will not remove it from the bracket itself. To take out that said bracket, I have to take out here this bracket for the vacuum box, the vacuum reservoir. Okay, like this. And now I will remove here the bolts that hold down here the bracket. I do already have videos for this. They are down on the description. The videos for this are the ones that have the how-to for the intake manifolds on the 16 valves and 24 and 20 valves. On this 8 and 10 you have this one and the other video for the teardown of the engine. I have a feeling on this engine, I'm not the first guy doing this job. It's just a feeling. I was hoping, maybe you cannot. On a 16 valve you can. Let me take out here this bracket, this lower one, and perhaps it will do. Like a charm. Oh, look at that. More evidence of lack of maintenance. Oh, I see. I see. I see. So, what you want to do when you have these kinds of issues is you want to prevent this. And how do you prevent these kinds of things? You replace your antifreeze. You replace your coolant. If it is not enough and it still does this, replace it more often. Okay? And use a quality product, okay? Not some cheap. Okay. Okay. Again. 3 bolts and 3 washers. Oh my god! We are good. This is the power steering pump. If you need videos for alternators and stuff, I also do have them down on the description. Ah, it goes there. Yeah. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes. This one goes on the underside, well, on the other side, and it will fall out, so okay. Over here bolts are missing, at least two. Yes, two. I have to find them and put them in. The threads seem to be okay. But again, this block is junk, so it does not matter for that. For the oil switch over here, A21. This is not a sensor, it is just a switch. For these vacuum lines over here, I also have plenty of videos for that, for diagnosis, for everything you may need, okay? For this RPM sensor or the crank sensor, I do also have videos for this. How to test it, how to replace it. Better save this. I want to save the most that I can for the other block. Okay, like this. Next, we can do here the common rail and the lines for it, for the injectors. Be careful here with this sensor, it is immensely expensive. Today I received a comment on the comments of the videos where I mispronounced some Italian words. I am not Italian, I am Portuguese, and I'm trying to do my best to speak in another language. And well, what can I do, right? Learn more, yay! Okay. 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 So four of the 4 of the injectors, that small part that it has in between the hose or the pipe in this case and the injector is coming off. So I have to do the double thing. So this means that the injectors should go to the specialist. Should go. At the end of all this, let's hope and prayer that the customer wants to do the best possible. The possible is a very strong word for this. So I will present everything that I have, everything that is necessary, and then the customer will decide what he wants or can do. In that way I will go on and do what he wants to do, okay? Again, this is not my engine. Save this very sensitive parts somewhere dry and closed. The same thing with the rail itself and the injectors. For the rail we have two 13s and one 10. This is very strange, but it's just where it is. This one I do not believe, I think not. Okay, doesn't do anything. Remember this bracket, well, this bracket over here, can you remember to replace the thermostat? I do have videos for removal or replacement of thermostats if you need. Now for the glow plugs connectors, this is a direct injection engine. For the climate that we have here in Portugal, this is not important for starting the engine. It is just more important for idle speed and the smoothness of the idle, okay? Of course, below 0 degrees centigrade, they will do something. Of course, it's easier to start it with them, but it is not very crucial, okay? Remembering also that the wiring goes underneath, on the back side of the common rail. I may forgot about that. Remember about these two bolts over here. Even here they are difficult to work with. And these ones you can use a special gasket, the testing one. Definitely the software will allow you for that. This one seems to be working still. So now I will take out here the manifold. I want to take out everything. Possibly it's asking too much, but I will try. Okay, so I have here this pipe for the return line for the coolant. Maybe come with. These two ones you already know for the EGR, sorry, for the EGR cooler and for the thermostat. So the heat exchanger is preventing me from removing the intake manifold. For that I do have videos, but let's see here with the engine out if I can show you better, okay? I'm afraid over here this thermostat thing is not from here. It does not have any space for me to work with, so possibly I have to do something else. So I decided here not to mess much with this. I will remove here this intake, this water manifold over here, and for that I have to remove here over here this heat exchanger. It has the factory fasteners, and I do not want to take them out if I really do not have to, because I want to maintain the original look. So the pipe goes from here and goes to there, so I will remove there and then take everything out, clean everything of course, and do what I have to do. That is not very important, but I want to maintain the original looks. If it was really necessary, or when it is really necessary, I do remove them. I know that they are available for replacement, but if it is not necessary, we will not spend that money, right? We can use that money for something else. Maintenance, for example, like antifreeze and such. Keep writing what you need for the engine. I have a list that I then share with the customer with prices. And what I cannot find, the customer normally helps me out with a search on eBay or Amazon or somewhere else. To find parts, I usually use the repair.fiatforum.com, and I search for the part numbers, and from there on, searching for the parts themselves. Just a quick Google search with the part number will usually is enough. No gasket should be reused, but the metallic ones normally accept more than one use, but do not be cheap on this, okay? At least on this. Look what I got. Okay, finally. Okay. This is probably factory, but I cannot recall. I was taking a look at the other block that I have. The other block does have the balance shaft, and I was wondering, and probably for the best I will leave the balance shaft in to be way smoother. Probably that's why this engine was short-lived. So I have to twist it out, I believe. It is in the way. This is original, but I believe this probably a earlier iteration, an earlier version. Nowadays must be plastic, I believe. Again, guys, watch your maintenance on the antifreeze, please. We have here an AGR heat exchanger, and we have over there a oil cooler. The only, I repeat, the only way to be damaged is by not doing the maintenance, okay? So normally here these intakes for the 10 and 8 valve, they do not get a lot of carbon inside normally, unless you have a problem with EGR. For EGRs I do have a video explaining very well how they work and how can you test them and how can you have several, how can I say, solutions for them, okay? Muito bem. I like to take out the glow plugs at this stage, attached to the engine. If not, it may be a little bit difficult by my own holding down the head and trying to take out the glow plugs. If any of the glow plugs does not come out, now it's really the perfect job for this, because the head will go to the machine shop to be worked in, and in that way they can remove them if necessary. None of them are bad. If you need videos for glow plugs, how to test them, how to do all of that, I do have them down in the description. They are one of the earliest videos on the channel, so the quality is not great, but I think I can get the message. I think I can make myself I think you can get it. If not, tell me down on the comments, okay? So this last one was the one that was a little bit harder to remove, but nothing too much. It has a lot of carbon, which means that the glow plug was not fitted all the way, because the seal area is that cone, that tapered area over there. If it is not all the way through and doing the seal on that small area, carbon will start to come up the glow plug, okay? I really did talk about a lot on this. So I will not bother you with this anymore. The injector is the same story. I like to remove them while the engine is still on the engine stand, for the same reasons. Difficult to remove, etc. These clips over here like to jump out, so be careful. The O-rings over here, normally I only replace them if they start to leak, okay, because the aftermarket ones are well, not even worth talking about that, right? So if any will start to leak, the access is good enough, I'll replace them, and only replace the ones that are leaking, okay? This is a 10mm hex wrench here on the holders for the injectors. As you are taking this out, make sure not to damage the tip of the connector, like so, okay? You can use another type of tool to do this, like something like that, okay, with a ratchet. But this is not tight enough for that, at least this engine, this particular engine. The injectors of these 10 and 8 valve engines, the earlier ones, do not have a lot of problems with poor starting, long cranking and whatnot. They are not prone to that. They are very resilient injectors, indeed. But having this all taking apart, and the engine will do, basically we will do a new engine. I will send the 5 injectors to the specialist to be seen, to be tested, to be cleaned, to be everything that is necessary for them. We will do that so we can have a clear conscience that we are doing everything as it should, and also taking advantage of the labor involved, okay, because they are out. So a little bit more and we can send them to the expert. We have here a normal washer on top of smells good in here. Smells like perfume. My neighbor just opened the window. She's cute. And then we have a cone washer, like cone on one side and flat on the other. Be careful when you have the glove like this. Some clip or washer or something may be stuck on the glove, and once you are dealing with that, you may not see that probably it may fall to the ground or something, so be careful. So here, what I usually see or do is, here on the position of the injectors on these earlier versions does not matter at all. They are not coded. Even if they are, I do not care, because the code will come different and I can recode them on the ECU later, okay? So I can put in all together. I do not need to do any scratch marks to know where is what, nothing of that nature, okay? Like I told you on videos for injectors, I have a lot for that, okay? We also have here, I believe this does not come off, but be careful, okay? So these injectors over here, normally they come out like this, and only like this, and like this usually is enough. You also have to lift up here the little fork. Here you go. See that you have here a base where the injector fork, this little thing over here, rests and makes some force. Again, if you need videos for injectors, how to remove them if they have carbon and whatnot, I do have a lot of that on my channel. few days ago I had a crosswagon over here with a 16 valve multi-jet engine. Someone did a repair on the base where the injector goes. You saw me do several times the cleaning, and I do the cleaning with a piece of hose, rubber hose, okay? That is more than enough to do the job. If you are reaming the base of it, you are increasing the distance where the tip of the injector goes in relationship to the top of the crown of the piston, and that may lead you to poor start, smoke, bad idle, and possibly even definitely bad results on the correction of the injector, and you can have fault codes related to injectors or something similar, okay? So reaming is really the final nail on the coffin if you want to do some repair, okay? Do not do any kind of metal reaming on the base of the injectors. Never. I know why people do it, because sometimes to take out the washer, they have to, not they have, but what they do is to stick a screwdriver on this area over here. They punch it, the washer twists off, and that way you can pull it up, okay? And by punching it, you do a mark on the base of the head, and then you have to use the reamer. For that, like I showed you on the channel, this is mine now, I bought it. You have a tool that is here to take out the washers. So you twist it in if necessary, and you push it in with the washer, okay? Do not, please, do not use the reamer. Never, okay? I already did several gaskets on the channel for the valve cover. The most fun I did was on the Lancia Thesis, or Thesis, right? It was an engine just like this one, exactly the same. That car was really a lot of fun. I'm looking here at the turbo. The turbo itself must be checked over because of this, well, the pickup tube was completely filled with gunk and particles and debris and everything else, and we have to see if everything is okay, right, on the turbo side. If it is nice, everything is nice. If not, the proper repair will be done by the experts, okay? Because I need warranties to give to the customers. These engines do have an internal oil catch can or oil separator. It is on this area over here. All of the oil that is separated goes back to the oil sump, okay? Not all of it, but most of it. Some of it must go to the intake to help out the lubrication and cooling of the compressor of the turbo. How nice is that? Over here on the camshaft, everything seems nice. Very typical of these engines to have a very good camshaft. And like I said, the buckets are not hydraulic. These are adjustable, manually adjustable. And the adjustment, the factory said to do it every 100,000 kilometers. I can tell you that at least 400,000 kilometers is possible without doing any adjustment. Of course, the head will go to the machine shop and they will do the adjustment over there, of course, okay? Of course. Normally I do not use so much RTV on the bumps over here in this area. I just use RTV there and there. The previous person used on the bump itself, on the whole thing. I'm not, okay, you can do that, but not so much, okay? Here for this bolt, try not to do this I know it's very tempting to do this with impact, but if you do, you may break the key because these keys are like a fuse, and they will break very easily. And also, if it breaks, you cannot tell if it was broken to begin with or if you did broke it yourself. Like a glove. Oh, well, this will not go to with the head because the machine shop can lose the bolt. Oh. Oh my god. Well, I have to put a new one, but firstly I have to remove this one. Yay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh no. I'm just cutting the bolt. Ah! The tool is too new. The tool is too new, so let's try something else. Where's the coolant? You may think that I'm always talking about this, about the antifreeze and the coolant and whatnot. I already saw at the beginning of the video that the corrosion is visible and present on this engine. Why do I keep talking about that? Because I'm not the first guy over here. I'm not the first guy to remove or to take apart this engine. The freeze plugs over here are all new, because this engine already had problems with lack of coolant. And still, this engine came with water. Well, rusty water, but water nonetheless. People do not understand that coolant is as crucial as the engine oil, or more. Taking out here the bolt, 17 head bolt for the lubrication of the turbo. This one does not have a filter. If it has, normally it is removed. It's better for the turbo, strangely enough. So this way my turbo is almost all out, and I will take it out in one go to the bench and then do the other nuts on the bench to separate it from the manifold, okay? To go to the specialist. If you need videos for exhaust manifolds because of that leak and the repair of it, I do have it. It is down on the description for the 16 valve 1.9 on a 159. It will go for 156, it will go for 20 valve. Also this, the 10 valve and 8 valve is very similar, so you can use that, okay? Try to take out all of the dowels so you can reuse them later on any other engine. Try to use only an original gasket over here. It is a metallic one, not a paper. The original ones are very, very good. No leaks to be expected for that. Now this uses here on the head a 14 rebay socket. Okay, like this. Not the Torx one. You may have to use a long one, but so far I think not. The 13 kind of does it also, but it's not the same. And the Torx, this, I believe it is a 60, also does it, but not quite the same. Not quite the same, and it can break up on you, so not good. The factory says that these head bolts can be used 4 times, including the first time at the factory, okay? So this head probably came out at least once. So the factory one at least once, maybe twice. So I'll not go, you can measure them also and see what's what. Probably I will not go with these ones. They appear to be new, actually. They appear to be new, but I can put 12 head bolts, okay? Just so you know, the original ones can go 4 times. It's happening. I have to straighten out the assembly so my head does not fall to the ground. It really was a nice decision to remove the gloves now, right? Come on! The hell? So over here on the head, everything seems normal. No clear signs of a cracked head. No clear signs of impact with the pistons. Not on the combustion chamber or on the valves. Even if they did, these valves are incredibly strong. 8 millimeters of shaft. Okay, so everything seems nice. The head gasket itself is MLS, and for that, very, 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 very resistant. In fact, I never encountered a problem with a head gasket on the 4 or 5 2-valve per cylinder engine of this so far. On this side over here, also no visible problems. The only problem I see is, again, corrosion. And the holes are getting smaller because of that. Okay, be careful not to lose the dowels. There and there, only 2. And here on the block, well, the block itself does not matter, right? It is garbage after all. And the pistons, those we have to see, or the machine shop has to see them and measure them and evaluate them if they are good or not to be used on the other engine. Well, we have collision over there. We have in the past. So this engine may have bad Conrad bearings in the past. Sorry. So these pistons did already hit the valves in the past. We may have some issues with the shells, the Conrad shells, the bearings, and because they are new now, I cannot tell, but I was suspicious of this. We know that this is not very problematic, because this engine takes a lot of beating. The only doubt now is to see if the other block, I will show you the block in a minute, if the other block will be acceptive of these pistons, if these pistons are okay again. Okay, again, make sure to take out all of the dowels, everything that can be useful for you, remove it. This plate over here, someone did cut it in half, so it go to the bin also. And okay, again, the cylinders that do not matter, they are scored, but even so, they do not matter at all for our job at hand. And as you can remember, this is my, last time I recorded, it was being built at the time. This is my my warehouse and my office, as you can see over here. This is has a little bit less less garbage now, and I have here a rest area also. Okay, so I have here the block itself. This is a used one. The board itself is a little bit strange, but again, let's see with the machine shop. The block itself is nice. It has also a balance shaft over there. Maybe I have to replace the bearings, but well, I do have all of that. And I have over here a crankshaft, and I have on that box over there the con rods and also the wrist pins. But the wrist pins, normally they do wear out, so beware of that on these engines and on the 16 valves and on the 20 valves. It is very, very common to happen, problems on the wrist pins, so be very, very aware of that. So here you have it. This is the donor block for that car. It was washed actually, and everything seems nice. Everything seems really nice. I just have to, like I said, check out here the bores and check out the line bore of the crankshaft. Check out the crankshaft. Check out which bearings we will use. In here in Portugal, most of that work is done by the machine shop, because workshops like mine, for example, do not have the equipment to do such evaluation, okay? So we have to trust them. The only thing that we can do to verify that on the bearings, for example, is to use the plastic gauge, okay? For the pistons, I know that many of the machine shops here in Portugal tend to try to reuse pistons, so I always say, if you have any doubts that the piston slap is to be happening or oil consumption, please use a new set of pistons, or oversized pistons, okay? So I hope you like this apparatus that I have over here. For my Portuguese friends already know, the ones that come here to do jobs already know how it's done, how it is. So to finish up the video, let's take out here some pistons. As you can see, I have a lot of work over here. I have a 166, 159, 159, 166, 159, my 155, the engine behind it, 156, two Breras down there. I have 164, I have a Corsa from a friend, and I have a Ypsilon, a Spider, the 9th Spider, to repair the soft top. In more or less 1 year, 9 Spiders came for that job. This one is also ready at a 2.5. As you can see, nothing is happening with that. I have a video for that if you need. This is the car for the engine. This car here also has a bad engine. I have this marvelous GTA over here, misfiring a lot. That is solved. Now I have the ECU to be checked over because it is stalling. And I have a 3-liter V6 Busso. Very nice. Let's take out some pistons now. Be very careful not to damage the oil squirter on the way out. The bottom of the con rod can do that. Make sure to check out for wrist pin play. This one has a bit. Yes, it has. It's very common for these engines. More the 16 and 20 valve. Much more. Like really much more. You can also check out and reuse the oil squirters, but you have to be absolutely sure they are not clogged up. And that's it, guys, for this video. I believe we are done. If I miss anything, please tell me down on the comments. I believe a video for the assembly, I think it will be good for what you are doing right now. So we can continue with this, now that I have the confirmation from the customer that we will do everything for the best. Now for the removal of them, it's easy. Okay. Thing is, now I do not know how to do, if I do some episodes for the assembly, if I do all at once. I do not know, because getting parts may not be as easy as I think. So a lot of time may pass in between recordings. Maybe. You can also take them out by hand. Yay!